Hello and welcome to your MCC Esports broadcast of Overwatch 2 Semifinals, featuring your MCC Tigers. I am Blaine, aka Flip and Flop, an alumni and former Overwatch player, and here with me is
Ryan, Batman. I'm also an alumni, former Overwatch player.
We've got representation here from both last year's gold and blue teams, so it should be quite a ride. We've all played with all these guys on this 2024 team, and should be pretty cool to see what we got going on here. So, your starting lineup for your MCC Tigers: on tank, Nathan Jorgensen, aka Skeletoon; on flex DPS, Ryan Goulding, aka Chunkles; on main DPS, you have Ethan McGurr, aka Dark Viper; on main support, Elijah Powell, aka My Dad; and rounding out the lineup, your flex DPS, Paul Novotny, aka Taco. All right, and now we're gonna start. Looks like we're rolling out with a Mauga comp, which is kind of the bread and butter for your MCC. Yes, both teams here.
Both teams running the Mauga, both teams sim TPing to point.
Let's see if we can get to the right person here.
Looks like MCC chose to take the inside and a fast engage.
Sin TP going in on the engage here. Skeletoon taking a lot of damage. That shout kept him up for a couple extra seconds, but not quite enough to keep him alive.
Maybe a little aggressive, pushing out into the open like that, but they probably called it.
I think they called the engage with the Mauga after they TP'd onto point and saw that the other team decided to go bridge without the sim TP. Yeah, I'm trying to remember how to work the Overwatch. How do I go free? That's okay. We'll just sit here and watch Chunkles on the cast. Watch this S tier aim. We're going to see MSUWP's Mauga charging in. My Dad falls. We're going to see our cast here backing up, kind of pinched by this Reaper. A couple picks here for MCC. Going to take out the tank and one of the supports for MSUWP. Echo dives Chunkles, but Chunkles manages to hold it out and take out that Echo. Looks like we're going to get a team kill here for MCC and going to take that point, 32%.
Yeah, they're going to hold this bridge here. It's the stronger position. You know, if the other team goes, the far side, they can always rotate. They really got to watch out for this Echo. If she hits a good flank, you know, the supports go down and the whole composition kind of falls apart. It's a high sustained comp.
It's going to be really hard for MSUWP to engage here, but they're going to copy the Mauga, and there's nothing scarier than two Maugas running at you, as we're going to see Skeletoon taking a lot of damage here.
Yeah, we'll see if he can keep them up.
Flashbang taking out the Reaper while he's ulting. It looks like we got our Juno ult out. Chunkle's going to follow that around, take out the Juno. Very hectic fight going on right outside the point here. Looks like Reaper and Mauga for MCC are going to fall. The Juno falls as well.
So MCC uses 3 ults there, and it's still a stalemate, it seems.
I did see MSUWP pop too, though. They popped their cage and they popped their Echo copy.
Looks like they popped 4.
Did they? Oh, I must have missed they did pop Blossom as well. I did see that. I didn't see the rally.
I didn't see the Blossom.
Well, you also can't hear it like I can.
No.
You don't. Ryan doesn't have headphones on, so I'm the only one that can hear that stuff going on.
So actually, we also popped early. So both teams popped 4 there, and MCC ends up losing, but they're up in percent, so about an even game.
So you can see MSUWP pop their Juno ult and rush across the bridge here. Just absolutely running over Nathan, running over the entirety of MCC. And, you know, that's just the power of the Juno ult right there. You can really just pop that and do whatever you want.
That ult is just too devastating, and MCC used theirs in previous fights, so they couldn't counter ult.
MSUWP taking the lead in overall percentage as MCC opts to push around. We see Dark Viper on the little bit of a flank here with the TP kind of getting there over there early. Lock down that pathway so that MSUWP can't get right in front of that hallway. See a Blossom from Dark Viper. Looks like he's not going to get any picks with it, unfortunately. They are absolutely blowing up this Mauga, though.
Force the supports out. You know, the Frequency half, the Juno left. Like, it's still displaced. Not as good as we would like to.
Kind of used the Blossom there as a zoning ult, as MCC is going to round out the team kill here and recapture the point. And you know, that's kind of a interesting way to use the Reaper ult. I think he wanted to get a pick there, but you know, obviously getting value out of displacing the enemy team's supports really showed itself there as they picked them out.
I mean, it basically forces the enemy team to play into your Mauga, and that guy's just so scary, so much damage output. I think, yeah, MSUWP switches to the Venture. MCC's been practicing for this. They had a lot of trouble with it last time.
MCWP is going to pop their cage. We get a rally from them as well. Oh, sorry, that was both cages.
Both cages. Good team. Also survive MCC's Juno.
So we get a group spawn here, and
Let's see if we have a touch.
it's going to have to be kind of sneaky here. Let's see if Chunkles can get through across the bridge. The Reaper TP across. They do get a touch here. Fighting on the bridge. It looks like the brig's going to fall. Paul gets a pick on the Reaper. Brian comes back with a pick. Reaper back with another pick. Dark Viper. Just the venture to pick. Oh, it looks
and
like
the Malga goes off the map.
this makes for an interesting contest here. It is just the venture, however. She has no more cooldowns to get out. She is going to dip out, though. They have to get another touch. Ryan TPing across the river to pick, and round one goes to your Tigers after an amazing touch from Ethan and Ryan there. What a way to just maneuver around the fight on the bridge, you know, TP and blink across and get a touch there, and then pinch on the bridge. What an amazing play from the DPS here.
They managed to, you know, flank the enemy team and get both supports really, really early, which means their Malga just can't live. And yeah, the venture is annoying, but if he has no team, he can't really do anything. So.
And Ryan, again, I'm complimenting him a lot here, but you know, chasing that venture down, just ensuring to get the pick before they got to the mega, making sure they couldn't get that touch. What a great heads-up play from Ryan there. Let's see if they can recreate it here on round two.
Venture being a very good stall character, so very clutch. We're gonna do the Sim TP. Probably won't hold it. Yeah, he goes back and switch. Both teams did the Sim TP, it seems.
We'll see Dark Viper out of spawn a little late, swapping off of that Symmetra for the Reaper, because it worked last time. And just like that, MSUWP has no supports because of the perfect charge from Nathan Jorgensen on the Malga.
Both supports. Yeah, and just a very quick cleanup fight there after a beautiful slam.
That was just, again, and I heard them talking before this round. Nathan has to just trust that his team is going to follow up on those engages, and they did it perfectly right there. Just absolutely wiped out MSUWP right away.
Now, both comps are exactly the same, except for Echo on one side and Venture on the other. So we'll see which one does more work.
I got my money on the Venture. We'll see another beautiful engage from Nathan Jorgensen, taking out the Brig early. MSUWP down a support, but now they take out the tank. Looks like Chunk is going to take out the Echo, but the Echo takes Paul with him.
Yeah, you know, that slam was really, really good again, but it seems like they were almost ready for it, and it was kind of a bait.
They were willing to kind of trade the Brig for the team fight win there.
Yeah, you know, tank is kind of more important than the support, so.
We're going to see him kind of walk up. MSUWP trying to hold this choke right outside of MCC's spawn. A lot of poke right now, just waiting for everyone to get back, kind of staging another fight here. Looks like Reaper's going to go top right. Tracer is as well. Malga following. Looks like they're going to try and engage off this height here. MSUWP kind of going for a flank here. Malga rotating around to pinch. They're going to take out Paul on the Juno. Ryan gets a pick, evening it up. You know, just like that, evened up again. Very hectic. Two Malgas shooting each other is one of the most entertaining things in Overwatch history. Another charge. Huge CC there.
Huge reap roll. He stunned them into it. You know, both teams kind of ran in circles. I think our support died. I don't know, somebody died on their team.
It's just, it's two Malga comps fighting. Yeah. It's just a lot of slamming and gunfire. It's kind of...
With how similar these comps are, you know, the fights are over so quickly because people just explode. I think both teams are going to cage here, probably. Nope, no cage from
see a Blossom
MCC.
To take out the supports.
Seems like a dry fight. I think they wanted Cage Blossom out so that they could easily fight them next time.
Well, the MSUWP's, their Malga's cage, it didn't catch Skeleton in it, but it cut him off from the rest of his team, so it did a good enough job of keeping him separated from his support that allowed the rest of his team to kind of capitalize on the fact that MSCC was down to 10.
Reaper no Wraith, most of the time that's reason to engage. Counter pin.
We're going to see the Juno will hopefully keep Nathan Jorgensen alive. Dark Viper with a pulse bomb kill on the Brig.
Lots of ults coming out here.
Skeleton getting low on health, but that Juno ult is just pumping him back full of it. MCC going to recapture the point. Huge stagger here on the Malga.
Looks like, I mean, 3 ults is kind of a lot, but actually MSUWP also used 3, so. Or 2.
Now, the biggest problem here in this next fight is going to be that Juno ult from MSUWP. That's going to do a great job of, you know, kind of subsiding the ults that MCC is going to be coming up with here. Huge slam from Nathan Jorgensen. Unfortunately, he just can't survive the onslaught.
Again, I think they've started to see that he's really good with that slam, and you know, they're kind of trying to bait it instead.
Looks like MCC should take a dry fight here, kind of try and come back. They got to 99%. Looks like they're going to just kind of fight it out, try and make it winnable. Pick on the Venture makes it. It is in fact winnable. Another Blossom coming out. Juno ult for MSUWP. Juno goes down.
That Juno really big for MSUWP, but they can't capitalize on it because they were so displaced by that early pick and by the
MCC
slam.
is going to take map number 1. What a great job of, you know, not giving up on the fight, continuing to hang around the point after the 99%. And even after being down, they managed to. Tanner's messing with me in the background here. It's kind of ruining my train of thought. You know, just doing a good job of staying with it there, making sure that they could, you know, take what they could get there. And it ended up winning them the fight and winning them the map there.
Yeah, you know, MSUWP baits up the Mauga and kills him early, but MCC kind of plays a little more scrappy, you know, after not having a tank to play around. They kind of just coming out of the woodwork, doing a little bit of damage, and got that opportunistic kill as Nathan came back, and they were able to shut it out.
Overall, just a very good map from MCC there. You know, little rough early on, but they managed to make a couple of adjustments that proved very worthwhile in the long run on that map. And MCC is now up 1-0. Now we're going into hybrid, and they're going to ban Kings Row, which I didn't know they didn't play Kings Row.
You would think they would because of the Mauga comp, but I think that they want to play just a little more pokey. Maybe also because they want to pull out maybe a Widowmaker or something. You know, Widowmaker has been kind of strong, and it's a great way to like just dominate with raw skill with one shots. So they might try to be doing something a little more spammy. Also, MSUWP maybe a brawl team. Maybe they don't want to take them to that brawl map.
Oh, we're hitting every. Okay, so if 3 builds in front of me. Heads up.
Initiating match. Ready for battle.
What's up? How's it going? Hey, buddy. What's up? Salofa. How's it going? Hey, hey, hey. Hey, buddy. What's up? Salofa. Hey, buddy.
I'm the last one you'll ever cross. Hey.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Everybody stay where I can see you.
All right, there we go. Okay, we are back in business. I am so sorry about that, folks. We had some difficulties on our end, but we have gotten it rounded out. Map 2 here on Midtown. Gonna have MCC on the attack first. With just under 2 minutes left, we're still kind of working out some issues with the stream here. There is a delay, so right now you might be messaging me telling me you can't hear me, but just give it a couple minutes, and by the time you hear this, you'll know that.
We have the Malcolm here again. MCC's on defense.
MCC's on attack.
What? Oh. I can't tell.
So yeah, you guys unfortunately missed map 1, but it was Amalgam Mirror. MCC managed to come out on top 2-0 on Lijiang. Overall, just started out a little rocky, but kind of picked the performance up. We're going to see Mauga come with the cage here, as well as the Echo copy, another Mauga cage. And it looks like they both just got absolutely demolished, and then a third one comes out from the Echo copy. Dark Viper taking out the Juno as he falls. My dad getting taken out by Void Fiber on the Echo. That's a harder name to read than it looks like it. We're going to see MCC kind of come back quick here with 45 seconds remaining on their attack.
Yeah, this Lightweaver comp, not traditional. Lightweaver's not often played, especially in competitive play. But the idea is that you mount a cage and then you can pull him out so that he doesn't die, but the enemy team is still stuck in there. Which we saw, but there was just too many Maugas.
Yeah, two Maugas is already too many, but 3 is just...
picks there, but inevitably Skeleton goes down in that tight alleyway.
We're going to see the remainder of MCC kind of try to rotate towards the point, hold it down, lock in that overtime. Chuckle's going to go grab a pack, get some healing. The overtime bar is ticking down. It is just the Reaper and the Echo remaining. We see the Reaper TP on to get a last second touch, continue that overtime. Hope that someone else can get back and keep up the touch. That bar is winding down. Let's see if anyone can get back. And it looks like Taco is just a couple seconds too late on the retouch. MCC, unfortunately, not even getting a single percentage, not even a tick on the point, so they're going to have to try and do a full hold for a draw here on map 2. Should be interesting. Let's see if MCC can pull it out.
Yeah, they'll need to break out a newer strategy, I think, than the traditional, Mauga type thing. The enemy team seems like they know how to beat it. But again, it's defense. It's sighted for them, so maybe they'll bring it out and it'll just go in the reverse, Mauga v Mauga, but stronger position means MCC wins.
I'm receiving word that you are quiet on the stream. Big boy voice, Ryan.
All right. Gotta use my outdoor voice from the playground.
It looks like we're going to see the exact same comp from MSUWP, the Mauga Reaper, Echo, Brig, Juno. MCC swapping out the Venture for a Cass. I like that move, especially with Ryan Chunkles Goulding on the Cass. It's one of his better heroes. Puts on an aim clinic every time he plays a hit scan. It's kind of impressive.
They also did go back to the traditional Brig instead of Lifeweaver type setup. It is just stronger. Lifeweaver's just unorthodox and probably just doesn't get as much value.
All right, and we're going to see what MSUWP tries to do on their attack here, and let's see if MCC can hold it off. Let's get a look at our frontliner here, Nathan Skeleton Jorgensen. Going to be a lot of poke at the start here from this choke under this bridge right here. Looks like MSUWP is going to elect to try and go under instead of through the train. Mauga charging in. Skeleton gets the stun. A lot of fire coming down upon Skeleton right now, but the other Mauga is also hurt. Looks like the Echo Beam is going to take out Skeleton. Mauga's going to charge in at very low health. Land on Chunkle's head, take him out. Chunkles did manage to take out Void Fiber on the Echo before he was taken out by the Mauga. Reaper taking out our Brig. Let's see Skeleton try and kind of run back here.
Still fighting for it on point. They do go down, and
MSUWP is going to take map 2. We are now evened up here at 1-1. Seems like MCC just kind of couldn't get anything going on the attack, and then on the defense, they, after not pushing, your spirits are kind of down. It seems like it kind of played a part there. Let's see. Hopefully, I'm confident in their ability to kind of lock it in here. Realize, hey, we had a rough start, but we can still, we're still even here. We're not down. We can roll into the next map, hopefully, and reset the momentum here.
I'm sure they can bounce back. It's nice to know that you can beat the enemy team, but also it's nice to see your weaknesses. Now they can adjust for that on this next map, which is Escort, I believe. So we'll see what their ban is in a sec. MSUWP bans Dorado.
All right.
I don't think we've seen a pick out of MCC yet. Just the ban.
MSUWP has banned Dorado. Let's see what MCC wants to pick on their Escort here. I don't know what they're going to think here.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they really want to keep sticking with this Mauga comp, or if they've, got a comp to beat it, but they need the right map, and maybe they can pick, I don't know, maybe a dive, maybe spam, something like that. Circuit Royale, so we do see the spam. Maybe they'll pull out the Widowmaker.
I would bet my life savings that we see Chunkles on the Widowmaker on this map.
Classically, both teams do roll out a Widowmaker here, so we might get to see a nice Widow duel.
I know he's on the team that I'm casting for, the team I played for, the team I'm always rooting for, but at a truly, just neutral level, I'm excited to see Chunkles on the Widow here. If he does decide to bust it out, because it is quite a feat to watch.
I think those one-shots can really give them an edge. I think just with that sustained type of comp, it's just so much harder to get an advantage, whereas the Widow just one shot, one kill.
I almost wonder if we're going to see a Sigma pick here out of Skeletoon. Sigma being a very popular pick on Circuit Royale historically.
He also plays a lot of Sigma. In the past, I know he's been playing a lot of the Mauga, practicing a lot of the Mauga, but he played quite a bit of Sigma last year, so we could see it. Be nice to see it.
Winding down the final seconds between maps here. Just, patiently awaiting the action to resume.
Both teams, talking greatly about strategy.
Yes.
This next map sets the tone for the...
MCC especially, they're going to take a couple minutes here. They're going to talk through last map, what went wrong, and they're going to, just kind of try to reset the mentals. Because, not going to sugarcoat it. Getting beat the way they did on the last map, it'll tear your mental down. And there's still a lot of Overwatch left to play here, so we're going to see them take a couple minutes, relax, just kind of take some deep breaths and try and round out. And it looks like they are ready to go here, so we're going to head into map 3 of the Overwatch 2 semifinals.
And a little bit of a break, also the team that won is kind of on a bit of a high, so you want to make sure that they kind of calm down, they kind of,
just try to limit the momentum so they can't rush into the second map, still
absolutely
coasting off the feeling of that monstrous win they had the map prior.
It's not just a physical game, also a mental game.
So you can see how this would be quite an amazing Widow map for anyone who's comfortable on the hit scan. You got to angle over here to peek up onto that balcony on that side. You could always come through this door and peek up onto that bridge over there. Very popular spot that most people expect is these stairs up here to see over. And on the defensive side of things, you can get a Widow up here. You can kind of preemptively set up over here. There's just so many different angles for that, long-range one-shot. And it looks like we are going to see the Widowmaker out of MSUWP right exactly on this spot. And it looks like Chunkles is actually going to roll out on the Soldier, and Ethan McGurr, Dark Viper, is going to take up the role of the Sniper with his absolute masterclass Hanzo. And as I finish that out, Chunkles making the decision we all wanted to see him make, and he's going to swap on over to the Widowmaker.
The double sniper is really nice because it really limits their Widow on what she can peek, and it kind of gives your team more space. Everybody backs up because of those sight lines. It just allows your Sigma some breathing room.
Now that Widow is going to have a Sigma shield in front of her, so it's going to be kind of hard to get an angle. See if he can get a pick on these stairs over here. Nope, looks like they're going to relocate the shield again, as Skeletoon gets a pick on the MSUWP's Venture. They're going to be up one, and they're going to look to make aggressive moves here. You're going to see Chunkles drop down, get a first pick, second pick. Oh, couldn't quite round out the third, but Dark Viper's there to clean up. And MSUWP Sig decides to, kind of negate the damage there and go down without too much of a fight.
Trying to avoid giving them ult charge, but that double sniper accounting for over half of the kills in that fight, just really oppressive on this map.
We're going to see Chunkles keep a lookout on the MSUWP's Widowmaker here.
They've seen each other now.
Yep, and there's a Sonic Arrow on MSUWP's Widow. Chunkles going to take a more passive angle, try and just clear out the point a little bit. Lands a body shot on the Venture as she dashes out. Going to try and hit a grapple shot here. And looks like it's not going to land, but we're going to see MCC take the first point with 5 minutes remaining. And there's the Widow diff that we all wanted to see. Now Ryan kind of just has free reign over MSUWP. He's just going to pick him off as he sees them walk out.
The Hanzo does go down to the Ana. They kind of got emptied on. They're trying to push a little aggressively, I think.
Looks like the Sig is going to use geometry to his advantage and bounce a couple of his explosive rocks off the wall, take out Chunkles there.
Yeah, I think they just got too aggressive off of those picks,
And, MCC has 5 minutes left. They can take some time here to, round out their plan. But it looks like MSUWP is pushed up fairly aggressively on the point right now, actually.
Seems to be trying to take advantage of that close range on the Venture, trying to shut down their Widow instead of more of the sniper ranged approach. So it's a better position for them, but we'll see if it holds.
Gonna see the Sigma ult from MSUWP. Widowmaker gets gripped out as the Venture dives. Gonna have to just kind of try and get out there. Let's see if we can get an angle on the Hanzo, who's still kind of in the middle of the action. Gonna have a harder time getting out without a grapple. And Dark Viper manages to get back into spawn with 4 HP remaining. He's gonna try and chip down some of the damage on that Sigma shield. You see Paul out here kind of keeping his Sigma up as they march forward back towards the point. You're gonna see a Hanzo ult, and it looks like people are stuck in that corner. The Widow and the Ana got stuck in the corner. What a great dragon, but we are going to see a Juno ult, which is going to keep MCWP in this fight. As we know, it is one of the best ults in the game.
Yeah, they kind of just need to play time, wait for it to go away, which it seems like they're doing.
Nice rock.
Did lose Taco in the process,
But they have been pushing point. Dark Viper's been on the point. They're already pushed up to this hill, so you know that long of a fight, Dark Viper kind of noticing that he's a more ranged character. He can kind of participate from further back, so he opts to go around MCWP and push the point a little bit.
that's going to be a big advantage because traditionally, you know, support has to do that, and now both supports can kind of play with the team.
It looks like Scuba Steve does get a bit of an angle on Chunkles there. They're going to be down one going into this fight. The Juno ult going to try and kind of force their way back in, see what they can do here. Dark Viper picking the Ana, picking the Widowmaker. No more DPS for MCWP. Third pick on the Juno. We're going to see Skeleton get rocked, shielding, pushing in. Dark Viper hungry for more, going to keep pushing in, trying to take out the Sigma. Skeleton walking down the Ana, landing the rock, and Dark Viper does pick up the 4th kill of the fight on the Sigma there. What a performance from the Hanzo.
Beautiful performance out of the Hanzo. You know, even with the Widow down, that double sniper is just so strong.
Chunkles falling to Scuba Steve again early in the fight, but you know, he definitely got worth out of the Widow earlier on, struggling now, but you know, Dark Viper kind of picking up the slack that's kind of appeared now. You know, just a little bit of a slow spot for Chunkles. I'm sure he'll pick it back up as we continue to go on. This is kind of a weird place to fight for a Widow. There's a lot of different angles. I would argue more so for the defense. They have a lot of cheeky corners they can hide in. We're going to see a pretty brawly, just kind of duking it out on the point right now.
Yeah, this venture also is going to cause a bit of an issue because she has so much, so many flanks and so much cover.
Nice shot from Chunkles there. Looks like the
play.
venture's going to go in for the trade. Going to have to burrow, dropping back off of height onto the point. Venture again getting forced out, trying to go in on the tank, just can't manage it. Another pick from one of the snipers. Skeleton gets rocked down to 230 health. He's going to get healed by the Juno as time goes on. Venture stuck in the corner. Skeleton 80 health, getting backed out.
Wow, this venture seems immortal.
This almost makes it too.
You know, they get that early pick on the Ana, but again, that kind of aggression playing into a defense allows MSUWP to capitalize, even though they were down a player, and kind of shut down the push from MCC. So we're back on this angle again. Looks like they're rotating high ground, which MSUWP doesn't know. They're looking at the Widow.
And they don't have much they can do about it. There's not really anyone that can peel that height super easily except for Widow.
Now, MCC's Widow has a large sightline because they've completely forgotten about the main objective and kind of looking at the side route.
Scuba Steve going to take out Dark Viper, but not before Chunkles takes out Trevin on the Ana.
Nice trade.
Chunkles with another pick on the Venture, but unfortunately Scuba Steve getting another pick on the Juno, and it's just the Widows trading picks back and forth and back and forth.
Eventually, MCC's Widow goes down, and it seems they're going to have to reset for yet another fight on this corner.
Let's give our support some love here. Lifeweaver, again, interesting pick here, but, you know, we've seen a couple good grips.
A bit unorthodox,
Elijah
but,
Powell.
you know, I think they're using it to give their snipers angles and keep her away from the Venture.
You see Taco on the Juno here, just trying to keep his Sigma up for this duel.
See
He's gonna pop the Juno ult. We hear a Nano go out on the Sigma. MSUWP Sigma gonna pop the solo ult on Skeleton. He's gonna get gripped out of it.
And we're seeing trades, but starting to go in MSUWP's favor.
Yeah, that Juno just managed to get in the back line and wreak havoc. However, MSUWP down their tank while MCC Skeleton is still kicking. We're going to hear the Ventral get popped, going to take out the Life Weaver. Skeleton had no supports for just a second, but the Juno's back. Let's see what Paul can do to keep him up, and then Anti is just too much, unfortunately. Can't do anything about it.
A large Anti to close it out. It was a nice fight. They were holding it out there for a sec.
Scuba Steve going to take out Chunkles yet again. We're going to see if we can get something going here with just about 20 seconds left in the round.
Just a Juno ult on the board that they have to push into. Again, very devastating ult. You're going to have to really plan around that and see what happens. Taco is low.
Very low. Just kind of hiding out in the corner. We're going to see a rock land on the Venture. Early pick from Skeleton. They're down their Venture. Just Widow left on the DPS. Let's see if we can get a shield up. We can. Skeleton walking down the other team. We're going to see MSUWP's Juno ult come out and keep them alive. Overtime bar is ticking down. Dark Viper gets gripped out. Chunkles taking shots from Lithium. We're going to see Chunkles grapple, pop his vision, just, use an ult, try and give his team any advantage he can as the overtime bar continues to dwindle down. 2 picks from MSUWP. Chunkles going to have to go for a touch on the Widow. Can't quite get there. Unfortunately, we're only going to see 2 checkpoints out of MCC here on Circuit Royale. However, once they got to the 3rd point, it just kind of fell off,
You know that they got it most of the way. That last corner is just pretty brutal,
As it is with most escort maps. The 3rd point on escort is just always an absolute struggle for the attack team because the spawn is just so close for the defenders.
Yeah. And, I mean, plenty of angles, it's not a symmetrical map, so the defenders naturally having the advantage as well just makes it so hard to get to that 3rd point.
And we saw MCC's performance up until they got to that very difficult 3rd point on their attack, so let's see if they can hold MSUWP before they even get to either one of those 2 points. The name of the game is just limiting opportunities for the other team, right? They're going to want to try and limit every opportunity for MSUWP to even get close to where they pushed. So they're going to pop out with the double sniper again. We get Taco on his, his tried and true Baptiste. We're going to have Elijah on the Brig, which I like. I like the lamp and the Brig there to kind of keep the Venture in check because the Venture's been wreaking absolute havoc on the back line thus far.
It also is nice to just make sure that their tank can't push up as much with the boop from the Brig. No matter if they're diving or not, just keeping that space is really nice.
It looks like we're going to see double snipers out of MSUWP.
Yeah, very similar comps, just the supports are different. It's going to be all about enabling these Widowmakers here to open up the fight.
Going to see a Sonic on the Venture, going to try and get a headshot before she burrows underground. Can't quite get there. Excuse me, before they burrow underground.
Playing kind of under, there's a health pack in there, so very, very nice for her. Gives their snipers space, and it gives them a kill because of it.
MCC backpedaling, trying to maintain as many as they can after losing one to the Widowmaker.
Yeah, they got to make sure that most of them are alive so they can kind of retouch this point, because after it gets around this corner, it's much tougher for the defense to hold.
We're going to see a hectic fight taking place on this staircase here. Venture v Venture at this point. Dark Viper said, I've had enough. It's time to show you what I can do on this hero.
Widow waiting to peek, looking around for their Widow.
And Chunkles doesn't know this, but he kind of has free reign right now other than this Venture because the Widow is taking a more passive angle. He's going to land a body shot on the grapple shot on Chunkles here, though. Venture popping up. Paul's absolutely won. You see Skeleton fighting on point, can't quite stop him from capturing, and they have a very similar amount of time to what MCC had after they captured first point.
Yeah, very quick capture. I would expect the second point to go very similarly as well. They get to go take this space since they got those picks, and I think it's going to come down to a 3rd point fight.
See if MCC can pull out some spectacular defense here on point 2. With 4 minutes and 38 seconds remaining as that card just continues to march. MCC kind of trying to stage their fight here in this choke as MSUWP pushing up very aggressively, popping their signal. Dark Viper diving the Widow, taking her out just like that. We are going to see Skeleton fall, however, so overall MCC is down. They are missing their tank. Dark Viper going to fall as well. We're going to see, you know, 2 supports and a Widowmaker left alive. So there's, unless Chunkles decides to just absolutely pop off here, there's not much they can do about this fight. It's going to be a lot of waiting to regroup. See if MCC can get a touch here before they push all the way to second point, kind of try and damage control. Looks like the Venture is just still tearing up the back line. We're going to see Skeleton pop his ult, get slept out of it with 2.45 meters before second point. Missing the rock, trying to take out this Widow, does happen to fall, and MSUWP is going to take point number 2.
Yeah, MCC is going to need to come back in touch. They're having a real hard time keeping their tank alive while also peeling for this Venture. You know, they need to pick somebody to look at and just go for it. You know.
I think swapping off the Widow also isn't a terrible idea here, but Chunkle said no. I'm locking in. I'm ready to, you know, win this Widow duel and get some picks for my team and help them out here on point 3.
Yeah, it's going to come down to a kind of a closer range fight, so the Widow isn't necessarily important, but it's just so much better if their Widow is worried about you.
Couldn't quite land the shot there. We're going to see Venture ult get popped. Paul throwing out his lamp, keeping his tank and other support alive, popping the window. Going to get some amped heals through there, keeping that Brig up.
Beautiful window. Beautiful
amazing window. Amazing window. And that's going to be something that, you know, his team is going to, I hate to say it, but they're probably going to take that for granted. They're not going to realize that that window is the only thing that really kept his other support and his tank alive there. So an amazing play from Paul. Also an amazing Paul. Probably the best Paul I know, to be completely honest.
You know, nobody else had an ult, so they were kind of forced to use it, but MSU is very low on them as well, so not too much of a cost.
This is going to be have to be a masterclass defense from MCC here with just a few meters before the final point.
I really would like to see. There we go. That's what I would like to see.
Chunkles with the pick on Scuba Steve. Venture burrowing too low to stay, has to drop.
Are they going to push this Sig? He's really low.
Dyer very low. Can we get a pick on this Ana? Ana goes down. Sigma goes down. See if we can get an exit pick here. Maybe on this Widowmaker. Not going to happen.
Spooky Widow duel.
Chunkles took a body shot and said, I'm out of here. I'm not going to risk being the first one to die. Because MCC does spawn pretty close on the defense where this card is at, but MSUWP is just a few meters farther away, and we're going to see a swap to a Reinhardt here.
Yeah, again, much closer of a fight. You know, MCC has to touch the point. They're not allowed to back up or else they'll cap.
Right, we see an EMP here. We do. What a great Sig ult as well. That's going to take out 2.
That combo is devastating for MSU.
Skeleton kind of cleaning up here. Paul does fall along with Ryan and Ethan. Now that made this fight a lot more interesting.
Down to a 2v2, but MCC has better chess pieces, you know. They have the tank, more important.
You see Widow go for a cheeky little back cap here. Not going to go very far at all. Still under 4 meters before that point gets to where it's trying to go.
He's got to get away from there right now.
Oh, and unfortunately the rally just wasn't enough to save his life there. And CWP 1 meter left until they win. They get another pick, another touch. Dark Viper falls, and MSUWP is going to take map 3 here. MCC falling 1-2. It seemed like it was a very, very, very solid start for MCC there. You know, the double sniper, they were getting tons of picks, and I bet this play of the game is going to be when that Widow and that Ana got caught in the corner there. It's not. This is those 3 picks as they continue to push, yes. Very solid shots landing from Dark Viper. Unfortunately, wasn't enough to pull out the win here. It seemed like they kind of rolled out double snipers. They were feeling confident. They were doing well. Once they hit that 3rd point, they kind of lost that confidence just because, you know, the defense spawned so close, and it seems like they kind of struggled to get it back moving into their defense there.
It also feels like only the DPS are kind of making switches, making adjustments around the other team, whereas the rest of the team is consistently staying the same character, you know, stuck in their ways. They need to be able to adapt if they want to win this next game, which is match point.
We're going to see if, I bet we're going to see a couple-minute break out of MCC here before they make any map picks or before they say they're ready. They're going to want to, you know, kind of have a conversation, regroup, you know, try to improve that mental yet again and realize that, hey, we just need to make adjustments.
Yeah,
that's really all it comes down to is game time adjustments.
Yeah, that would be wise, you know. This is do or die here, so see if they take advantage of they get a timeout, I believe.
And we saw it on map 1. MCC made the adjustments, they adapted, and even it was just like a fight or two on the first point of Lijiang, and then they realized, hey, this isn't working. We got to make some adjustments. They did it, ended up winning that map 2-0, just a breeze for them. And then, they kind of rocky start on map 2, and it's been kind of a struggle to recover from that since then. It seems like once something bad happens, they're kind of struggling to make those adjustments. But as long as they, keep their head in it, and as long as they realize here, hey, we've just got to, kind of come up with a plan, and if it doesn't work, we need to quickly figure out how to fix that.
Looks like Coliseo is the pick.
Should be a fun one.
It should be a fun one. This map is arguably the best of the push maps.
I would agree.
It's definitely one of my favorite for push.
And we're going to see MSUWP want to roll right into it here. They're still trying to coast off that momentum from the last 2 maps.
Yeah, they're feeling good. MCC is on the back foot, and hopefully they will get their heads back in it for this 4th match, not 3rd, 4th.
What do you think about the performance of? I didn't realize they had all their profile pictures set to their main. They probably run that comp. That all of MSUWP's
very similar on map 1.
The only one I didn't see was the Genji.
The Genji was a Reaper instead.
So I was going to ask what your opinions on MSUWP's performance so far. It seems like map 1 they started out kind of slow, but they're really starting to pick it up as we progress through the maps.
They kind of did what we were talking about MCC needing to do, is like they lost that first map and they decided, okay, we need to make adjustments. They've been making switches on other maps, and they've been kind of trying to shut down the DPS. They've noticed that the DPS were quite strong. Instead of trying to shut down the Mauga, they tried to blow him up on the first map.
Ready for battle.
So, MCC needs to kind of follow their lead and make those adjustments. I think MSUWP is.
There's no doubt in my mind that MCC is mechanically superior. Right now, again, we're beating a dead horse at this point. It's all about making those game time adjustments.
Yeah.
We're going to see how well they can do that rolling here into map 4.
MCC, arguably the better team mechanically, just mentally, they need to be able to bring it back.
We are going to see Mauga, Reaper, Sombra, Juno, Lifeweaver from MCC, and from MSUWP, we're going to see Mauga, Reaper, Venture, Brig, Juno. Very meta-esque comp there, the Brig Juno's been strong for quite a while now.
Taking quite a few angles. Oh, they've got to keep Skeleton alive if they want this.
MSUWP is down their supports, though. MCC is down one of them, so they do have the upper hand in this fight. We're going to see Skeleton continue to march. Chunkle's marching with the Mauga. As you need to pick on MSUWP's Mauga.
They forced that Venture is the name? I forgot. I almost said Juno.
I mean, that's what you'll get with these Mauga fights, especially with the Sombra. We've got a lot of different stuff going on, a lot of moving parts here, but MCC manages to, combine all those moving parts into a very well-oiled machine and kind of march through the first fight.
They've seemed to have been making some of the adjustments. They're on the Sombra like they were last game. They're on the Lifeweaver.
And the Lifeweaver there showing why it isn't a terrible pick at all, because it saved the Mauga's life with the grip.
They're really on the back foot here, though. Everybody's critical. Everyone's out of position.
And now MCC is down their Lifeweaver, so they're only going to have Juno heals.
Yeah, I don't know if people were coming back from spawn or what, but they were just so out of position.
Yeah, they just weren't ready to engage there. It looked like the Mauga was kind of ready to get something going, and no one else was on the same page. So just going to need a little bit better communication there.
They do lose the lead, but it's a couple of meters very early.
Still very close to the middle of the map.
Not a big deal. More important to win fights here.
We're going to see an early Juno ult from Taco, managing to farm that up pretty quick. Popping the lock-on missiles. And we're going to see MCC just absolutely sprint in. Chunkles taking out the Juno, continuing to march forward. Mauga diff by Skeleton taking out Dyer right there. We're going to see MSCC continue to march down, take down the Reaper, take down the Brig. The only one left alive right now is, I believe, the Echo.
Yeah, sort of a mirror of that last fight. MCC came in swinging and the other team wasn't ready for it and had to just back and kept dying.
And I wonder if that's going to be kind of a back and forth in that map, because that's exactly what MSUWP did on that second fight. They came in swinging and MCC was not ready for it.
Yeah, it seems like we might be seeing a theme here. The cage for MCC,
Cage Blossom gonna take out Echo.
netting 3 kills
Oh.
for them.
See, MCC had you can tell they had a very good conversation after that last map,
Oh,
really
yeah.
coming through and cleaning it up here, being aggressive, taking advantage of the fact that they know that they are most likely the mechanically superior team. And just an overall masterclass going to get forward spawn here, less than 3 minutes in. Oh, we're not. We're going to see an Echo come in and copy the Mauga to engage as the rest of his team returns.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of aggression out of MCC that we just weren't seeing last night. It's really working for them.
A lot of ults.
Ooh, beautiful. Gets
What
rid
an
of the cage.
EMP. A lot of critical signs for MCC here. There's picks on both sides. Kind of hard to keep track of what's going on. I'm trying my best.
MCC's down a little bit, but they can bring it back.
MCC,
Ooh.
it's just the Mauga left, and the Sombra virus managed to get a pick on the Echo, but ultimately Dyer does take down Skeleton, and that's going to be the end of MCC's push there. But they did get, I believe it said like 1 meter from forward spawn.
Unfortunately, not quite the forward spawn, but very, very close. So, not bad. Not bad push at all. Lots of ults came out. We're back to 0 actually on the board.
MCC overall much closer to their ults.
Oh yeah. Juno, we might see a Juno ult this fight
I
actually.
guarantee we will.
He's farming.
Paul's just,
Ooh.
shooting that Mauga, farming up the
Here
ult.
it
I bet
is,
we're going to see
here
an
it
engage
is.
with it right here. We are MCC popping the Juno ult. There's the speed gate rushing in. MSCWP's Reaper fading out. He doesn't want the smoke. Engaging the Mauga.
That Mauga is low. That Mauga is low.
We're
The
gonna see
brig is
Dark
low.
Viper chase down the break, take him down. Reaper goes down as well. This is
Beautiful.
Skeleton take out the Mauga. Reaper fading in. He's a little low. Looks like Juno's stuck in kind of a bad spot, stuck between a rock and a hard place. We're gonna see a stagger here out of MCC. What an amazing play. Paul had 1 health, just dancing around the other Juno, trying to stay alive there. But MCC managed to keep him up and get the stagger.
I was ready to say a fight with no deaths, but Paul was very, very close, so
Yeah,
I held my tongue.
Yeah.
Uh,
MSUWP having to take another fight dangerously close to their spawn here. We're going to see that Reaper teleport in and get hacked by Dark Viper on the Sombra. We're going to see I think MCC is going to want to take a fight here rather than out on the bridge. And it looks like we're going to see a Malga cage taking a lot of damage here. The Cage Blossom takes out the same 2 it did the last time they executed it. Huge slam for MSUWP's Malga is not going to be enough to keep his team alive.
I
We'll
mean,
see
lots
if he
of
can try and
critical.
get anything done here, and he's going to fall, and it looks like MCC's going to lock down their forward spawn here.
There's just so much damage flying around in these fights. I don't know who's gonna die when.
Yeah, it's just shoot Mauga simulator a lot of the time.
Nathan was so low, and then they managed to keep him alive that whole fight.
We're going to see the tree and the EMP again. I bet the EMP comes out here to take out the cage. Looks like we're not going to see it. There it is, the EMP
Very
waiting
late.
for them to all get low. This could be huge, though, with that amplified damage from being hacked. Taking out the Mauga, it's picks back and forth. I can hardly tell what's going on. MCWP pops their Juno ult, trying to keep that Juno and the Reaper alive. Juno does fall. Reaper manages to take out Skeleton. Let's see if our Sombra can do anything here.
I mean, he gets the Echo, but the Reaper closes it out, and the other team has closer spawns.
I do
so-
think everyone's going to get forward spawn, though, so we're going to see a fight pretty close to the middle of the map.
Yep, they did. So it'll be back in these arches, MCC sitting up for kind of their high ground, a little stronger position.
MCC coming up on the Juno ult again. Paul just absolutely farming the healing off of the Mauga here.
They went in.
Early pick on the break from the Sombra. That's a huge pick for MCC. Going to take out the Mauga as well. Reaper's low. Reaper goes down. You can see the Mauga chase down the Echo here, trying to beam. It's not going to work. And just like that, all of MSUWP is eliminated.
A flawless fight out of MCC, and so fast. MSUWP was not ready for it. I think that's kind of the adjustment they made. They said, look, we played so passive, we played so careful, we were so worried about losing that this one we're going to come out guns blazing, and it is working.
We are going to see the Juno ult come out from Taka. We're going to see a rally come out for MSUWP. Blossom taking out Paul right after he pops that ult.
Several
We're going to see the
early
Mauga
picks for
copy
MCC.
charge in. No more supports for MCC. It's going to be completely up to the tank and DPS to take it out. Tank goes down. It's just the DPS left. Reaper goes down. Looks like it's just an Echo copy left on the point. There's a hack. Slam does a little damage to Dark Viper.
And MCC is still pushing, not really a one fight per se, but forced them to back. They got maybe a meter or two more.
And they didn't stagger.
they didn't. They actually did get out. So
Ryan and Ethan doing a great job of pushing that extra couple meters, getting anything they can, and then getting out alive to prevent a stagger. And now MCC can take another
it
fight.
is 3.5 ults to 0 this fight.
And we're gonna see the cage, but we see a Blossom here from our Reaper, takes out the Echo, huge slam, and just like that, you can't even explain what's going on when MCC doesn't engage. They have this kind of pattern going on where first fight they came out stomped, then they kind of chilled out, they lost the second fight. It's like every other fight, they know when to walk away, and because of that, they're able to do these engages that are just so dominant that MSUWP can do nothing about it.
We got a great example of the life over there too. And got Nathan out of the cage, and everyone else just shot him like fish in a barrel.
We see a cage from MSUWP, EMP takes it
takes
down,
it out.
just like
Wow.
that. 2 picks for MCC, 1 pick for MSUWP. MCC is down to support. Mauga gonna charge in, try and take out the Reaper, and he does. Take out the Juno as well. It's just a Venture on point, no
Wasting so
burrow.
much time,
Trying
though.
to take out the Juno, can't get it done, and just like that.
We are over 100 meters. They have double the distance of MSUWP now. This is really, really good for MCC. We are also coming up on both support ults, and they have Juno Reaper. See if any of those do. Juno
Four
or
for
Ben.
MSUWP.
3 for us.
Mauga charging to the other side of it, saying, I'm not gonna let you walk into me with this. I'm gonna go behind you and kill your backline.
That break was so close. That Juno is also low.
Big slam from the Mauga. Unfortunately, I don't think he's going to be able to get much done here, as that Juno ult did just split his team. I liked the vision there of pushing to the other side of the Juno ult, but without a team there to help you and without you being there in front of your team to stop them from getting ran through by the Juno ult, there's just a lot of moving parts there. But again, like I said, MCC, they know when to ult, they know not when to ult. They're coming up with 3 very solid ults here, especially comboed with 37 seconds left. MCC sitting fairly pretty here nearing the end of this map.
It is 3-3 ults as well, so they could definitely just take a dry fight, lose again on purpose, since they have such a lead.
We're going to see
Yeah, it looks like it's
MSUWP pop rally.
All
3
three.
ults, all right. And
MCC
honestly, great dry fight from MCC.
They did use
Oh,
the Juno.
they used the Juno ult. No.
Unfortunate.
Okay, you know what? We still have Cage Blossom. That's been a solid combo for us so far. MSUWP still isn't even at forward spawn, so I bet we're going to see a fast engage from MCC here. Kind of try and catch them while they're still coming off that last fight.
The big factor here is going to be if we can get EMP for that cage, or if this cage might
See the cage, double cage. Both Maugas popping their ults. We're going to see the Blossom take out 2, a support and the tank. This huge couple picks for MCC. Reaper does fall, but after taking out 2, Brig is 1, gets taken out. MCC down there, Juno. We're going to see a Venture and a Reaper on point, trying to hold it down, maintain that overtime. Venture does go down before they can get the burrow out. Trying to take out this last Reaper, just kind of chilling on the point. He does have his fade up, so he's going to have a couple extra seconds of sustain.
Yeah, both of those DPS are just stalling so long. Maybe somebody
To
comes
see
back.
that
Nope.
bar wind down so fast, and MCC really coming back, throwing punches, freaking spinning back kicks. John Jones, the strongest kick in the UFC, straight into it, bringing it back to 2-2.
Yeah,
Match point.
That aggression really, really working for them. I think MSUWP probably a little overconfident after winning 2 games in a row semi-quickly. So, MCC came in swinging and absolutely dominated that game.
And it seemed like towards the end of there, the only real helpful adjustment that MSUWP made is they managed to just make fights last longer. They weren't getting team wiped in 10 seconds. They were kind of stretching it out, but overall, MCC still managed to pull through and finish it off. Now, it looks like we're going to see a Suravasa pick for our Flashpoint map. What do you think about that, Ryan?
Very similar to Coliseo, very similar playstyle. The Mauga probably comes out again unless they play. Junker Queen is also very, very strong on this map. But it's going to be similar, where these fast engages are going to be really, really important. Team rotates are going to be really, really important.
And MCC proving that they can do all that very well after the last map.
Oh, yeah.
So it should be a fairly good match here. We're going to see a little bit of a break from our MCC Tigers here.
Yeah, it looks like some players standing up.
We will be back in just a moment while we take a breather and get ready to hop into our match point map.
Looking for a win here.
Traveling to Suravasa. Initiating.
All right, and we are back here with map number 5 of your MCC Tigers versus MSUWP. Now, again, Suravasa are going to play fairly similarly to Coliseo, and I sure hope it does because MCC really put on a masterclass.
Oh yeah, we want to see them close this out. You know, we want to see a nice 3-0 on the points.
You know, Flashpoint, very fast, very hectic, really playing into what MCC just did very well on the map prior.
Yep, we're seeing a similar comp out of MCC, but something completely different out of MSUWP.
They're going to go with the Queen, which is always a go-to for a significant amount of people on Suravasa. It's a very good Queen map.
Super strong on this point, or on this map. You know, the speed boost out of Queen is just really nice. You can make it nice, quick rotates. Your tank is, you know, very maneuverable. So, and that's what this map is all about, how you rotate.
Going to see the Sim TP going to try and get there as fast as possible with the Juno speed.
We love seeing the Sombra. The Sombra really worked well for them.
Dark Viper doing a really good job of splitting off, you know, doing some damage. Not always securing a pick, but oftentimes on the Brig, especially in that last map. We're going to see an SUWP kind of push around to that outside. We see an engage from Nathan Jorgensen here, going to land a slam. Dark Viper does fall to the Venture. We're going to see MCC kind of try and do what they can to hold MSUWP off the point there. Huge slam from Nathan Jorgensen. Oh, Lucio's absolutely one, does happen to manage to get out. Skeleton down to about 80 health, and he does fall.
They managed to live longer that fight. The Queen comp is just so opportunistic about those kills. They just couldn't hold out. See if we make adjustments here. Probably not until after the first point. Yeah, you gotta give it a try or two.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind an Orisa into this Queen comp. You're going to see what seems like a fairly sloppy engage there, but MSUWP does manage to get a couple picks.
They fire back with 2.
On a tank and a support, MSUWP has no supports. Reaper is one with no fade. We're going to see if Jorgensen can finish it out. He can. Venture also gets taken out by Skeleton. Team kill for MCC. They're going to take over the first point after MSUWP secures 58%.
And, you know, this map, well, this game mode in particular has a very high reputation of fast capping points, but that might just be enough that if they lose a fight, they might be able to come back. Which is really huge for MCC.
Gonna see a cage on the Queen here. Queen gonna try and get as far away from Skeleton as possible. Looks like it's not gonna happen. We're gonna see the beat come out after the Blossom by Ryan Goulding. Gonna take out that Lucio. We're gonna see a slam on the Reaper from the Malga. That Queen ult is very deadly though, especially into a Malga comp because they don't have a Kiri to cleanse it.
Yeah, that AD is huge for them, and it flips this entire fight.
It looks like at some point during that MSUWP did manage to flip point.
Yeah, they're not going to get that touch after all. We'll see any adjustments. The Brig instead of the Lifeweaver. They already switched to the Reaper earlier, I think. Or was he on Reaper? Oh, they switched to the Venture.
Yes, they were on the Sombra before.
Yeah. We have Juno ults. And the enemy team has no ults. Nice engage here.
Looks like Brig is gonna fall. Paul taking out 2. MCC is up 1. MCC's up 2. MCC's up 3. It's just the Reaper left. No fade on point. That dash is gonna take him out. MCC winning the first fight here on point 2.
You know, that's why they call it support, not healer, you know.
Paul's the voice for all support players who are tired of getting called healers.
Yeah, getting those kills there.
Let me see MCC cap point first here.
You know, watching for that Venture on the flank.
Looks like they're going to rotate up onto the height, try and take an early fight here, not let him get even close to the point. Skeleton very low, going to charge back to point, get some healing. Unfortunately, leaves Ryan in the dust, does get taken out by MSUWP. It's going to be very hard for MCC to recover from this, especially after that pick.
They did go back in, and looks like...
Nathan Jorgensen still with a decent amount of health here on point, did manage to farm up his cage, and it looks like they're going to get to about 51 or 52 before MSUWP takes the point.
52. I mean, MSUWP definitely could have a touch, but just looking to take it, we should get this point.
Looks like MSUWP is going to be very aggressive here, push up all the way towards MCC spawn. We're going to see Ryan bust out his fade pretty early. Mauga charging in, dropping the cage. We're going to see Scuba Steve pop the Blossom and take out Elijah. MCC down to support, still fighting in the cage here. Mauga taking a lot of damage at this point, charging, slamming, just trying to do as much damage and take out who's hurting him. Looks like the Queen is going to push Mauga's backline. Going to take out a couple there. Scuba Steve securing the pick on Mauga. Ryan managing to take out the Venture before he goes down, but unfortunately just not enough.
Yeah, his picks went back and forth that fight, but support's dying early is just too hard on the Mauga comp, unfortunately. Just not enough sustain.
Just requires so much healing to keep him up, especially into a comp like this. That's just a lot of damage.
They're kind of pushing this Venture, but they do need to go to point.
MCC with a hard engage here. Paul getting an early pick on the Lucio. Reaper taking out MSUWP's Moira. The Brig does fall, but Dark Viper manages to get another pick with his ult. Skeletoon taking out the Junker Queen, and just like that, MCC is back in it. They've got one more fight on this point.
They also have an ult, and the other team does not, so hopefully looking to close it out with the rally.
We're going to see what Elijah can do with this rally. I do think Reaper will farm his... My prediction is that he farms his Blossom this fight just by shooting him.
I don't know if he'll be able to pop it, but I definitely think he comes out of this with his ult.
You see a split engage, the Venture digging in from the stairs. Nathan Jorgensen stomping, trying to get a pick before the fight even begins, and he manages to secure one on the Lucio. We are in overtime. MSUWP cannot leave the point.
That rally saves Elijah. Allows the team to be a little more aggressive.
And just like that, MCC makes some adjustments and they win point two.
It seems like their adjustment for this Venture is whenever they see the Venture dig, they just go in because she's out of the fight.
Exactly, and I heard them working on that before the game in their quick play matches when they were warming up. They said, Nathan, I know it's going to be scary, but as soon as you see that Venture dig, you have to rush in and just trust that we're going to follow you, because that's going to be our best way to counteract getting our backline just jumped every single fight.
I can hear their comms go in, and whenever somebody says Venture dig, I just hear screaming about going
There's the
in.
Venture dig. We're going to see the charge into the doorway. Stomping on him. Looks like they don't have anywhere to go here. Mauga farming the cage up real quick. I bet we're going to see a cage pop as soon as they decide to rush through this doorway. And that is exactly what we're going to see.
There it is.
And Queen falls just like that, getting absolutely blown up by the miniguns and the shotguns from Reaper. Chunkles picking up two. My dad picking up one. Chunkles gets a third. And just like that, Venture pops out, does get taken out before I can even get the camera moved. And that's a team kill for MCC as they're going to cap point number 3.
I mean, this is just a great adjustment on the Venture. You know, like they were doing it on Lijiang, but they were playing maps where they weren't playing Venture, and now they've kind of forced them into this. And now MSUWP seems like the ones that aren't adapting.
Now Ryan looking for fading in, going to look for a little bit of a flank Blossom here. Looks like the MSUWP is going to Blossom first and get their beat off with 3 picks. It's just Mauga and Reaper left. Ryan's going to fight on point, try and secure as much percentage as he possibly can. Going to hold that ult for the next fight wisely, and Queen does take out the last 2 remaining members of MCC, and they're going to cap after 60%.
Yeah, it looks like they recognized their setup was just taking too long and decided, you know what, they can use their 2 ults. We will hold ours.
And we are going to see a rally get farmed up this fight as well, so MC's going to be sitting at 3 ults even with MSUWP here, but I mean...
It's a bit scary that they have 3 ults to deal with.
And they're going to... Oh! What a stomp there. Stopped the Venture from getting any shots off with that Venture ult. She's going to get a couple off after... Sorry, excuse me. They managed to get up. MCC going to get... Again, just... I can't even keep up with it at this point. They're just running in and taking out all of the MSWP before I can even think about what's going on.
It was 2 ults for 2 ults, but MCC just did such a good job of like using theirs proactively, and it's going to be a tough touch for the attacking team here now.
Oh, we're gonna see the Queen ult in the cage, and it's not gonna go anywhere. What a cage from Skeletoon.
They didn't even touch.
And MCC managing to come out on top on the fight, but after that cage, they could have all died and it wouldn't have mattered. Queen popped her ult and they didn't get a touch on point.
That cage was incredible. All 5 stops the Queen ult, did everything.
And we're going to see MCC take point number 3, and that means they only have to get one more to secure their trip to the chip.
Yeah, they've got 2 chances here. Looks like they have a really long rotate there, so they're going to be second to point. They are going to have to deal with the Mauga, though. I didn't realize they switched off of the Queen onto the Mauga.
And I think, honestly, with the comp that MCC is already running, that'll be just fine. You're going to see MSUWP pop their Blossom here. A lot of stuff going on. MCC trading picks, but overall down. They're missing a support. Just like that, they are up 1. MSUWP has no supports. MCC has... Oh, I can't even tell. Is Juno alive? I don't know. There's too much going on. Going to take out the Mauga, and it looks like MCC is going to come out on top in that fight.
Yeah, both supports died, and they still won. You know, they don't have their venture trigger anymore, but they are still managing to be really aggressive and get those huge slams.
I think now their Q is going to be the Mauga charge. They're going to play off of the other team's Mauga engage because the rest of Mauga's team can't keep up with that charge. So I think Nathan is going to kind of want to try and run towards the back line as soon as their Mauga tries to engage.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to see a rally come out for MSUWP. We're going to see a venture ult for MCC. There's a pick on the Juno. That's a huge pick. MSUWP. Oh, they do manage to come back after losing their Juno and get 3 picks, but this fight is still going on.
I mean, they're getting good percentage. You know, they're up in the territory where there won't be a touch if they take it back. So now all they have to do is win a fight. They have the Juno, which is super strong.
We have Juno, Blossom, and Cage, and we know what the Cage Blossom has done historically.
The Cage Blossom is the big ender, and the Juno is just so hard to deal with that they easily could close it out
Now,
right here if they take it.
They should save the Juno ult for the Mauga Cage.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're going to want to copy Mauga.
Does he get some of it? No, he does not. So it's up.
We are going to see the copy Mauga. Reaper is 1, does get taken out. We're going to see MCC just struggling here to try and stay alive. And just like that, everyone's just too low in the cage.
They're forced to touch.
Mauga's just absolutely won. The overtime bar is going to dwindle down, and we're going to see your MCC Tigers travel to the championship. What an absolute masterclass.
Incredible.
And they did exactly what they needed to do.
You know, we talked about needing to make those adjustments going into Coliseo, and they absolutely did.
They did, and they took just, a couple extra seconds between those rounds that they lost. They're like, hey, guys, this isn't us. We need to make some adjustments here. And they did what they needed to do. They proved that they can, adapt to anything that MSUWP brought out, and they showed it there. Just absolute nothing but speed, aggression, and power with their Mauga comp. And, I mean, you heard I can't even keep up commentating it. I can't imagine what it was like playing into it.
The domination on those last 2 maps was absolutely amazing to watch.
So next time you hear from your MCC Tiger Overwatch team, they are going to be in the championship.
Facing the MCCC Mustangs.
That should be a good one. Another rematch for the books.
Yeah.
We got a lot of history with those guys over there in Montgomery County.
Very old rivalry. Dates back last year.
Yep. Well, in terms of the program, that's half that's half of the program's lifespan. Well, that's gonna do it for us over here at MCC. I am Blaine Flippenflop Augsburger.
And I am Ryan Batman Sin.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in, and make sure to check back in on the day of the